Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a very, very interesting weekend. It has been crazy. Of course, Knoxville Late Model Nationals, and then our insane live show from the other night. If you ain't watched that, oh God. Obviously, some other recent content that, we've had on the channel, some political charged literature in our presentation of things, I guess you can call it. And here's what I want to say about that, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, shut up about politics. You don't know a damn thing. Well, I mean, at least I'm not sitting over here just believing every meme that comes across my Facebook as fact, or what any of these, paid for politicians say as fact. But on the aftermath of that, I did put up the AI generated opinion clip of, what was the black guy talking about RTJ and overrated and not being able to win in a late model ever since switching to, the Kohler Motorsports team. And I think some people lost the message in what I was trying to say in that video. And what I was trying to say in that video is, hey, if you just want some, non-thinking, non-human, emotionally based thoughts or opinions, AI is coming. AI is going to be able to serve all your needs, ladies and gentlemen, here very soon. They're going to be able to tell you what you want to hear, what to think, keep it in a little box, package it, and sell it to you. And that's basically what's going to be here very, very soon. And so in saying that, I feel like my shows, these channels, and even though they are not 100% racing based, but they're racing based, they're more philosophy based. And I don't think that these AI things are going to be able to do too damn good of a job in philosophy or understanding or critical thinking. It's going to be programmed to think a certain way. And I don't think, personally, see that think word, I say that a lot. I don't think that I'm going to allow my audience to program me to think a certain way. There's a lot of people out there who feel very similarly to me, but they're scared. And not just like media members, but race car drivers, race team owners, sponsors. They have a certain feeling about some of the things I've spoke out about here recently. But in fear of losing followers, in fear of losing sales, in fear of losing popularity for drivers, for instance, these people are scared to say anything. And see, this is where it comes back to the control aspect of that fear. Fear controls basically everything, every walk of life, even in your daily decisions. A lot of the things are based on fear, whether that's financial fear, physical fear, or acceptance fear. I think we have a lot of social acceptance fear that really controls a lot of the critical thinking and expression in modern society. But I think that in my position of speaking on camera, I have to at least act a little fearless, and I can't let viewers or followers or opportunities or that fear of loss of viewers or followers dictate my decisions, because then once again I'm operating in a fear mode. So if I just sit here and say and do everything that you people request or do not like or want to like or whatever, it's still based on a manipulational tactic of social acceptance, whether that's in this little racing society or just generalistically. So I feel like, and once again, a lot of people were saying I was just a Trump hater, technically, I'm sitting here trying to tell you how Trump's going to lose, and I don't think that's good. I think Trump needs to win, basically, in this modern society. But if us as a community don't wake up and say, hey, this is wrong, that's wrong, we need to adjust some game plans here or look at things a little differently to kind of help the social announcement of your support for a Trump. It has to come in a logical situation so that you do not appear to look as an extremist supporter of a side, and there's extremists on both sides. But I just see a lot of people in the dirt racing world being extremely heels dug in on certain thoughts, ideologies, and support. I don't believe that you should be following anybody, including me, and not questioning what that person is saying, doing, or projecting in a critical way. You know, I don't support going off the side of mountains. And the way you don't go off the side of mountains is you don't let somebody lead you off of it. And that goes for all aspects of society and ways of being. And that's not just politically. You know, dealing in content creation on Facebook pages, for example, which is where, you know, Facebook is a right-wing platform. So this happens all the time. Facebook pays these pages if they can put up a post that gets a lot of likes, shares, and comments. So they could put out some fake crazy news like Taylor Swift losing $125 million for endorsing Kamala, for instance. This was one of them. And it got like 74,000 reactions, 35,000 comments, and 20,000 shares. You know, so this post on Facebook made about $10,000 in my guesstimation because of the content interaction that it received. Now, this story of Taylor Swift losing $125 million because of her endorsing Kamala Harris is a 100% lie. But these pages don't care about the truth or the lie. They only care about making money. Surprise, surprise, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about telling you facts. It's about making you react. The reactionary mind. That's plagiarized, technically. It's getting mind blown, this reactionary mind. They turn society into a damn walking TikTok. And if these algorithms, some of these aren't even humanly generated based contents. If these people or these AI, human being learning generated programs can somehow equate a post or a story where it thinks you'll have a high probability of liking, commenting, reacting, sharing around, and it puts it onto a Facebook page, it can make a significant amount of money. And the repercussions of it being fake or true doesn't really matter because it's just funny, right? $120,000 or $1 million lost by Taylor Swift for endorsing Kamala. It could just be funny. And at that point, it's a parody, so it's legal to post. But a lot of you people ain't taking some of this stuff as a joke. A lot of you people are taking some of this stuff as fact, as reality. It's not just saying, and not even like me, I say my stuff's a joke all the time, but I literally sit here and say, oh, this is just what I think. But when you say something to the degree of Taylor Swift loses this money because of endorsing Kamala, obviously it's pirouetting off of the Bud Light endorsing the transgender, representative and losing all the money due to Kid Rock's reaction and all that. And, so it's pirouetting off of something that it knows y'all already react to. See, it studied you. These people are very smart in making this money. It studied you. So it's like, okay, so now when somebody else does something, we can make this joke post that they lost a bunch of money and their stock went down. And that's how, y'all will react to it. And y'all will like it and comment and share it because he's like, oh, yeah, it's confirmation bias. Guys, it's feeding on your biasness that you've kind of been programmed to have. And so the program is feeding on that program and is making money off of it. And y'all are taking some of it as fact when in reality it's full of crap. But once again, it's not about the truth. It's not about the facts. It's about making money. Just like the politicians in themselves, just like the news corporations, just like all of it. It's all about making money. I just think that some people who don't know how content is monetized on social platforms don't understand that this could be a motivation or it would make sense to them. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, back to fear. I just believe in critical thinking. I believe in thinking for yourself. And I also believe when you get on a damn camera and you speak, you can't be afraid of pretty much anything. And that includes you people. Because what most people are afraid of is you. No matter if you think like a sheep or not, you're still a herd of a lot of people. And when people are talking in front of you, they're worried about that herd turning on them. And I think that fear controls a lot of what people think. And that's very scary. It's very unfortunate. And maybe me saying some of these things and willing to put myself on the line will influence you to possibly view and think differently so that other people can live and operate and speak in less fear of you. So anyways, just wanted to open up the show with that, a little bit of soliloquy, a little bit of philosophy in the situation, and also a lot of realism. Because there's a lot of people that are scared out there right now. There's some people in some real fears of the world, ladies and gentlemen. And one of those fears is this potential hurricane that is coming into the state of Florida. Of course, most people don't even care about Florida until February or January, racing-wise. But, luckily we have drivers from there like Danny Sams. Luckily we have some racing down there in that area. Valoc Speed Shop, one of our supporters on the show here, is from the Florida region. I do discuss and talk with people from the Florida area on a relatively adequate basis. Our New Zealand friend, old David, is from Florida. So, unfortunately, Florida is going to be facing some severe weather this week. And our thoughts and prayers, real prayers, not just segmented ones, are going to the people involved in that situation, the racing teams, families, areas. Of course, Bubba Raceway Park is going to be in that direct kind of line of sight where this is coming in. Obviously, they're a little more inland than most, but this seems to be a very severe storm. They are actually needing some help down there in Florida. There was a few posts that I shared on my Facebook page, and she's requesting that haulers are needed. North Carolina, Mississippi to Florida, 6 cents adjustable, hitch mandatory. And some more additional information that was being shared here about Florida. We are opening 4 base camps / yards in Florida. The first wave has to be there by 9 a.m. Wednesday. After opening yard, we'll know about fleet. Text me. There's the number 386-523-6335. Yard or hauling in current city and state. So if you are interested, if you are in that region and you have the needs or necessary ability to be able to help in the way that they're asking here, Candace Kelly, that is the contact information to be able to reach out and find more. Also, some other updates. You had Chase Johnson come on to his Facebook page yesterday and give an update saying that this is unfortunate. Once again, it's his first time to be able to speak technically. And I guess he said in there he's been over there a little over a month or right at a month. That makes a lot of sense based on the dates. But Chase Johnson still facing some of the negatives of our sport, but luckily is speaking. He talks about it being a long road in recovery. It is unfortunate in our TikTok swipe left society, eating dogs 1 week, P. Diddy the next. The Titanic Ocean Gate remains, society. Oh, Chase Johnson's hurt 1 week, flip to the next. Luckily, High Limit and some other people did not let go of that scenario that quickly. And I'm not either. Of course, we went to XXX Chassis and talked about, making cars safer. And I still believe that sprint car racing needs to evolve in sprint car chassis dimensions. And that would help prevent more of these things from happening going into the future. Still developing into those conversations. Also, Angelique Bell, even talked to her earlier this week about maybe coming on the show. Obviously, fire safety once again comes in a couple days and on to the next TikTok society, even within the racing world. I do want to talk to her about some things, her career, just generalize where she's at as well, because obviously she's still recuperating from that incident earlier in the year in Oregon. And obviously people were interested in the Mark Chevalier gas tank or fuel tank that was developed. She was actually interested also. Apparently, I'd have to get some more details, but apparently the World of Outlaws did not approve Chevalier's gas tank design, even though it's technically safer. Some kind of soft shell protectant on the inside that tank did not occur or incurably have. So it's going to be interesting to see what updates and get the full information on that. I don't know why it wasn't approved, but apparently it wasn't. But still, a bunch of things happening here in the racing world that shouldn't be forgotten so easily. Luckily, Chase Johnson is able to speak and is somewhat, recovering from that situation that happened with him at Chico Silver Dollar. Apparently, I have to give an apology. This is for someone in the racing world. We're not going to say who we're apologizing to. But this in particular media member, we'll just say it, Jeremy Elliott. When I did my video about Jock Goodyer and Dirt Tracker saying that, he's never seen competition like this before, and I said, oh my, y'all just pissed off Jock Goodyer. He's going to come in here and make it personal and win maybe or probably one of each in High Limit and Outlaws. He did not do that. He only won one race at Placerville at a weekly 360 event. And I am supposed to come on here, according to Jeremy Elliott, and say I was stupid and wrong and I'm white. Okay, it's fine, Jeremy. I'm dumb about Jock Goodyer. This post is about the High-Tech Oils Toowoomba Speedway Thunder on the Downs coming up. These are the nominated drivers who are going to be on hand for that race. Jock Goodyer is pictured and supposedly going to be at this event. They have a lot of nominations, which over there in Australia, they nominate drivers to let fans and everyone know who is going to be there. It's basically a confirmed list of drivers that are going to be there in advance for promotional purposes. Very good idea. The only true outsider that's going to be there is Jesse Schlotfeldt. Of course, we've done content with him in the past. He is going to be in the USA 1 car over there. And Jordan Charge is right now one of the hottest drivers in Australia, as Jock Goodyer was over here. And that's kind of the title here on Sprint Car Hub, which that's the post that is made here. One of the best sprint car coveragers of the entire world. So it works out extremely well here for him to be over there. It looks like Michael Pickens is going to be there. Caden Manders is going to be there. So a pretty loaded, kind of big time, not big time opener, because they just said the Chariots of Thunder, but Thunder on the Downs, the east coast of Australia. I believe they just did Gladstone, but they had some bad weather, even though they did race. But a lot of drivers in there. Jai Corbett is on the list. Luke Oilfield's on the list. So you got a pretty stout lineup. Matt Eagle, who won at Chariots of Thunder. So this is going to be a very interesting race. And then obviously Jesse Schlotfeldt being there for the first time ever. We'll see how that works out for him. One of the more controversial issues of the entire weekend was the delay in getting the Four Crown Nationals over and done with. And this was a very interesting situation, a very interesting post that was actually posted today, just 4 hours ago, by one of the heavy hitters of the Silver Crown racing industry, of Shawn Michael, the car that Brady Bacon drives, the one that Kevin Thomas Jr. won at the Hutchinson State Fairgrounds event, or Kansas State Fairgrounds event. He's upset, and a lot of these Silver Crown teams seem to be upset. A lot of criticism of track conditions. Of course, Rico Abreu won the wing portion of the Four Crown. And he said, cool picture. Hopefully Eldora and USAC make changes for next year. If not, it's going to be hard to take the Crown car with a sprint car also. It's not worth taking the Crown car with the way the Crown guys get treated. They make us be there for 2 days, and we get on the track for 8 laps in all that time, then go out Sunday at 1:30 a.m. on a rubber-down, tire-blowing racetrack. This is alluding to how some of the Silver Crown people do not like how they're getting treated. And they didn't, apparently a lot of the Silver Crown people did not appreciate how they were put onto the track 1:30 in the morning after all these, I guess there was a bunch of track work delays. And they're kind of supposed to be the premier division of USAC. And this is honestly, this is a situation where I get a little upset, because and anyone in dirt racing who understands history and how to repeat it, or if you want dirt racing to get back to the glory days, a lot of people who remember dirt racing in its glory days, 70s, 80s, early 90s, they remember that age. And they also remember how USAC Silver Crown racing was a mecca. That was kind of like, prior to World of Outlaws, Silver Crown was the king. And even throughout that, that's why the wing drivers would go and run Silver Crown, because it was this prestigious division of dirt track racing. And it is kind of sad, they had that new car come along in the early 2000s. That was a mistake, but it is kind of sad where USAC Silver Crown is kind of placed. I was at that Kansas State fairgrounds event, and the way those cars are racing and able to attack a cushion on the half mile, I don't think any other vehicle could do it. There's certain things that these Silver Crown cars can do that are very aggressive. Obviously, they can do the very long races as well, but the way these cars drive around, there's some situations where the Silver Crown cars can just put on a show that nothing else can. Obviously, went to the mile track at DeCoin as well, or Springfield Mile. Sorry about that. The Springfield Mile as well at the Illinois State Fair. That was very cool to see those cars on a mile. Once again, something they do that no one else does. But back to the point, I have a feeling that this post here from Shawn Michael, and probably is saying something that a lot of the other dedicated Silver Crown car owners and operators are. Maybe not the drivers, but the people who have put the money into these cars. They're not cheap either. They're very expensive. If you do one of them right, you could probably put just as much money in one of these cars as you do a 410 sprint car or a super late model. But I feel like this opinion, this disgruntledness, is not just in reference to the 4 Crown. I feel like it's a buildup of how a lot of people feel those who are dedicated feel they're getting treated in racing, period, and by USAC, period. USAC sprint cars seem to always somewhat be successful because Indiana's a foreground for them. And there's always prevalence there. There's always options. There's plenty of teams in that scenario. It's always something that you can't really kill off because there's so many people that are involved. USAC midgets seem to always be prevalent because there's so much money invested by the young kiddies who are trying to go to NASCAR. And honestly, that destroys our whole entire, dirt open wheel sport, because money's being put into kids trying to go to NASCAR more so than into 410 sprint cars and our supposedly top tier stars of the industry. So the money goes into midgets, and so that's pushed, the Toyota alliances and everything like that. So it's a situation where I feel like a lot of these older people, not just saying Sean's old, but all these older people who appreciate this division, understand the history of the division, feel like it's getting mistreated. And then when you have a silver or a 4 Crown event that's supposed to be this big stage on this Eldora Speedway, and they just get shuffled to the back of the line at 1:30 a.m., it's going to get some people to post some stuff. And there's some people who agree with this. And I'm sure, like I said, anybody who's a straight up USAC Silver Crown investor, and that's all they have involved with USAC is the Silver Crown, which it's supposed to be the Cup Series of USAC, supposed to be. I could see how a lot of those people are upset. Anyways, on to the next subject, which it's kind of with Eldora Speedway. I said this on my Facebook page. I said, you guys worried about Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series or Eldora Speedway with the 4 Crown? Missed out on how a guy lost $30K and another $150K down in Texas at Mod War 100. Now, some people are like, what's Mod War 100? I heard about Modify Mania, and this is the debacle with modifieds, period. Even though I do believe that one of the best events I've seen this year so far is the Boom Super Nationals. It was just insane. It was like 4 chili bowls into one. But modifieds, once again, the unknown rules package. They have that United Modified deal, but some people are on board with the people involved, and some people are not on board, and whatever, in the mail. But then you had the Modified Mania going on this weekend, or last weekend. You had the USRA Nationals going on at Lucas Oil Speedway with the modifieds. But then you also had this Mod War 100, which was a $50,000 to win modified event, almost kind of an open rule style of a modified event down in Texas. And you had a guy named Jake O'Neill lead pretty much every single damn lap. But on the final corner, Jim Chisholm, the current U.S. MTS modified points leader, passed him. Jake O'Neill went into 1 and 2, kind of bobbled on the cushion. Some people don't understand why he went high. Could have just stayed low. But there was 2 grooves at the Heart of Texas Speedway all weekend. It's great racing. I do think the 8-inch tires on the modifieds, they take care of a racetrack a little easier, and they don't burn it up as quick. I think that's why you see modified racing widen out and stay wide for so long, is the little tires, versus a sprint car late model race when it starts to slick off. Look out, here comes the rubber. I think you don't really have that with modifieds just because of those smaller tires. They just don't leave as big of a mark on the track. But anyways, it was a nice 2-groove track. O'Neill was moving back and forth on the bottom to the top. Jim Chisholm was sitting right there waiting for something to happen. Jake O'Neill went into 1 and 2. For some reason, didn't close the bottom off, went high, bobbled on the cushion, gave the lead to Chisholm. They go into the last corner. O'Neill tries to get some bite off at the top of 4 and cross over Jim Chisholm to the line, and he loses the race. $50,000 or a $30,000 mistake. It was $50,000 to win, $20,000 for second. So this was one of the biggest races of the weekend. Amazing racing every single night. Like I said, top, bottom, no matter what, wherever you want to go. I believe Chase Allen was an organizer of this event. I saw some people put that in the comments. But just an amazing race all around. And that's about it we got for the show. Just a little 30-minute-ish show that I wanted to talk about. We do have some guests potentially lined up for this week. Roger Hayden, Mr. IMCA. We obviously put out the Race Saver Nationals documentary movie deal. A lot of people like that, and I had some discussions with Roger Hayden. We have some ideas that align very interestingly going into the future of 305 sprint car racing and how things operate, views, perspectives, respect. So we may be having Roger Hayden on here very soon. Angelique Bell, once again, I did reach out to her. We may be having her on the show also very soon. And some lives. Who knows what's going to happen next? Obviously, tomorrow going to be the late model race at Brownstown. The Final Four cutoff. Tim McCready making it over Hudson O'Neill. Karma is closed, ladies and gentlemen, on that scenario. Tim McCready, I have a lot of people telling me he's going to win the championship. Right off into the sunset, everybody thinks Brandon Shepard's coming to take his ride, so I'm going to win this damn championship before you get me out of it. That's what everybody keeps rumoring. Who knows if that's true? We do know that Brandon Shepard is departing from the factory Longhorn team. Is he going to the Rocket Ride? No one knows. No one knows. We'll see. Maybe if we can get Mark Richards on the phone and he'll answer us straight up. Would he do that? Ooh. Maybe we'll get Tim McCready on the damn show. That sounds a little bit better. Regardless, like the video, share it around, matters just as much. Comment below with what you think, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, 2 genders, I believe. This is how we do. I must line up.